Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Mercury square or opposition Mars in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise, and some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have Mercury square or opposition Mars in a natal chart, there may be some difficulty in terms of communicating, which is Mercury, with the sexual partners, or could even be about sex in general. Let's say if you have your Mars in Capricorn, those sexual partners may be, one or more may actually be a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be, people that are very responsible, serious, ambitious, consistent, disciplined, structured, career-oriented. In some cases, it may be people that are just older than you are. If Mars is in Gemini, say, it could be, one or more of those people may have a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those traits. Could be those that are very mercurial, whimsical, versatile, diversified, multifaceted, loquacious, as some other examples. Now, another thing about these aspects is that there may be trouble in terms of talking about and articulating, which is Mercury, what drives and motivates you, which is Mars. If Mars is in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example, things that drive and motivate you may be pertaining that matters with home, family, introverted activities. I know something about this because my Mars is in Cancer, and things that are nostalgic as well. Things where what drives and motivates someone with Mars and Cancer may simply be, attaining some kind of safety and security. If Mars is in Aries, as another example, what may drive and motivate someone may be connected with attaining, some kind of leadership position, or being able to express leadership prowess and ability, initiative, enterprise. It may have something to do with fighting for someone or something. Now, another thing about these aspects, if you have Mercury square or opposite Mars in a natal chart, another way it may be expressed is there could actually be some trouble, I would think, in terms of building the physical strength, which is Mars in the arms. At least to some degree, it may take more work to do so, because you're talking about a conflict between Mars, which is again the physical strength, and the arms, which is Mercury. So if you're somebody that works out vigorously, it may be something where you have to show, express a lot more persistence and stick-to-itiveness, or even try harder in order to get, to those results you want. And another thing could be there may be issues in taking action, which is Mars, in matters that are associated with siblings, cousins, and neighbors, which is Mercury. Now, the thing is, if, let's say Mercury is in Taurus, as an example, siblings, cousins, and neighbors, one or more may actually be, a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be people that are rather impassive, stolid, persistent, patient, persevering, trustworthy, but can be stubborn and obstinate as well. If Mercury is in Leo, as another example, one or more of these people may actually be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody the traits of the sign. It could be those that are very dignified, prideful, extroverted, gregarious, flamboyant, could even be boastful as well, but generous and magnanimous as well. And if, let's say, if Mars is in Scorpio, as an example, those actions maybe tied in with crisis situations or matters pertaining to insurance, taxes, wills, as some other examples, inheritances, shared resources situations as some examples. So another thing about Mercury square or opposite Mars in a natal chart is that there may be difficulty in terms of finding that, the energy, the vitality, which is Mars, for short journeys, which is Mercury. Now, let's say if Mercury is in Pisces, as an example, those short journeys, maybe ones that may be a little bit chaotic and convoluted. Mercury in Scorpio may have a number of very, secretive, short journeys, ones that are mysterious. It could be going to like horror houses, those spooky places they have set up around, Halloween. As an example, say if Mercury is in Virgo, it may be, places that are connected, with health and fitness, such as like, a gym and things are, it could be, going to the doctors, more often than the average person, as some other examples. Now, another thing about these aspects in a natal chart, it may be, difficult or hard to find, that enthusiasm, which is Mars, for matters pertaining to communication, writing, and manual dexterity, which is Mercury. And the thing about this is, and if you have say, again, going to Mercury and Virgo as an example, these things, communications, writing, matters with manual dexterity may be done in a very precise manner, being very punctilious with details, being punctual, reliable, and doing it maybe, I would say, in a systematic and methodical manner. Now, another thing about Mercury square or opposite Mars in a natal chart is there may be at times there may be some difficulty or trouble in terms of analyzing, which is Mercury. It could be, subjects or matters pertaining to war, the military, sports, sex, and even anger, which is Mars. And the thing is, it might be, if you have Scorpio, involved, it might be, more, of a psychological, type of, analysis, or you might be looking at the psychological aspect of these things, and trying to look deep, into those matters. Mercury is in Aries. It could be where the person might be very mentally impatient, and that could have something to do, with trouble just trying to analyze, these issues. If this comes up, say, in a discussion or what have you. And also, too, there may be issues in terms of being alert, which is Mars, when driving, which is Mercury. So there can be more of I'd say, propensity for car accidents with this. And I'm also thinking, with Mercury adverse Mars, is that it's like you're talking about maybe more overly impatient in matters with driving and impulsive. So, if Pisces is involved, there may be certain confusion or something, and as far as any accidents occurring. If there's Aries involved, that would even reinforce or reaffirm the impatience matter in this. And I would say too, another way these aspects can be expressed in a natal chart is that it may take more effort in terms of being proficient in combat sports, because you're talking about Mercury, which is the hands, and Mars is connected with fighting, so being able to get both the two working hand in hand more cohesively, because it may be it may be a little bit harder because that energy is in conflict. If Capricorn, let's say Mercury, or Mars in Capricorn, there may be more concentration involved with this, more consistency. Trying to attain more structure and discipline in this, if this is something that the person is doing, training, for self-defense or whatever it might be. Also, too, it may be, another way, This may play out in natal chart, these aspects. It may be more of an arduous task in terms of being independent, which is Mars in one's early education, which is Mercury. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.